Speaker.
Gentleman is recognized for 4 minutes.
Thank the Speaker. Thank the gentleman from California. I would like to just follow up on the remarks that we, too, would tell the gentleman from West Virginia we agree entirely with the thrust of his remarks and express our sorrow for the folks of West Virginia who have experienced such a tragic loss. I would say again, the ranking members of the Rules Committee has indicated already that we could have already embarked upon the effort that the gentleman from West Virginia and the lady from New York speak about because we did offer unanimous consent on this. So we are in total agreement there. However, I will rise in opposition to the previous question. And Mr. Speaker, for the millions of Americans demanding accountability for the culture of reckless runaway spending in Washington, meet YouCut. At a time when approval of congressional spending has reached its lowest ebb, this first-of-its-kind initiative empowers taxpayers with the ability to contribute directly to a new culture of savings in our nation's capital. Each week, the public votes on one of 5 wasteful spending items that they would like to strip from the federal budget. Once the votes are tallied, the House will vote on whether or not to cut the winning provision from the federal balance sheet. Within 5 days of the experiment, over 280,000 Americans cast their vote either online or by text message. That's a rate, Mr. Speaker, of more than 2,000 votes per hour, with less than 1% of the votes originating from inside the Beltway, I might add. The overwhelming response speaks to the extreme frustration taxpayers feel toward a Congress that refuses to listen to them. Make no mistake, America is at a critical crossroads. The American people are tired of the spending binges. They look across the Atlantic and see Europe collapsing under the weight of its debt. With our own deficit swelling, it's only natural to fear that we are heading down the same road to ruin. YouCut is not a political venture. It is about shifting the pendulum in Washington back towards the direction of saving money. Rooting out unnecessary spending should be a bipartisan endeavor. This week, the House has considered 2 bills to name a post office and a federal building, 11 resolutions honoring different individuals, sports teams, or causes, including even recognizing Craft Beer Week. We've considered bills to spend more money and create new programs. Mr. Speaker, what we have not considered is a single bill to reduce spending. Unfortunately, this is a pretty typical week. Today, we have a chance to change that. During the first week of YouCut, a plurality of voters chose to axe a recently created $2.5 billion annual welfare program that undercuts cost-saving welfare reforms made in 1996 by a Republican Congress and a Democratic president. It was bipartisan reform. This new program undermines those reforms. While it was just created last year, the reports of waste and fraud are already trickling in. Perverse incentives for states to increase welfare caseloads, reports of cash being given out to welfare recipients that is then used to buy flat-screen TVs, iPods, and video gaming systems. Enough is enough. To put it simply, even when the funds are not being so extravagantly wasted, we cannot afford this program. The American people understand this. That is why they asked us to vote on this proposal to terminate this program and to use that money to reduce the deficit. This previous question vote is the vote to do just that. Today, over 250,000 Americans will get to see whether their representatives in Congress share their specific fiscal priorities. I urge my colleagues to listen to the voice of the people and take up this vote today and vote no on the previous question. And I yield back.